Afternoon, ladies and gents, and it's a little bit of a different one for us today. We're at the Havering Museum in Romford town centre. So a little bit out of London, but interesting nonetheless, I'm sure. Right, so over we go. Across, I'll just pause you. There we are, over the road, and in we go. I shall pause you, get the lay of the land inside, and then join me inside.
King of England died in 1066, and you know what happened after that. We don't need to go into detail. And he's now commemorated. He was made a saint by the church, and there's a St Edward's Church up in the market now, which is named after him. Yeah. So that's how the borough got its name. Hornchurch got its name because the church in Hornchurch, St Andrew's Church, has got a bull's head on the end of it. And we think it's because of two things. First of all, it's possibly because the tanning industry was in Hornchurch. They had the market here where they sold the sheep and cattle. They had the tanning industry where they dealt with the skins. The other possibility is that the very first church built in Hornchurch was by a group of monks from the Alps, from Montjoux in the Alps, where they had a pass. People travelling from here, going to places like Rome, would cross the Alps. And the monks in Montjoux used to show people through, get them through safely. They were the guys with the St Bernard dogs.
Oh, right.
And group of them took one of the king's messengers through the Alps, saw him through safely. The king, as a sign of gratitude, gave some land to the monks, and they built a church in Hornchurch.
Oh, that's really
Do you know Hornchurch at all?
I do, yeah.
Right, the middle of Hornchurch, there's a big old pub. It's now, God knows what it is now, it's restaurants. It used to be called the White Hart. It used to be the centre, all the traffic drives around it in the middle of the town. Well, that was where they first built Hornchurch Priory. Then later on, they built St Andrew's Church up the hill from that, about a quarter of a mile from there. And that's got a bull's head on the back. And it's possible the monks, that was their coat of arms. We think. We don't know. Because everything in history, depends upon who you read.
Yes, it depends on the opinion.
Absolutely. Romford got its name because if you were a Roman or a Saxon and you're coming out from London, you'd start at somewhere like Mile End, and then you'd go through Stratford, Ilford, Romford and Chelmsford, crossing the rivers on the way to Colchester. This was Romford, and the word rum was Anglo-Saxon for broad, so that's how it got its name. It was a broad river crossing. Hornchurch got its name, done that. Upminster was Anglo-Saxon. Anglo-Saxons, during the period of the Anglo-Saxons, you had quite a lot of Christian missionaries coming into the area, depending upon the king. If the king was Christian or otherwise, it would depend. And you had a Christian king in around about 800, called Sigebert, and he wanted the local people to learn about Christianity, so he invited monks from Lindisfarne up north on the coast, came down to Essex, and they preached and taught about Christianity throughout Essex. They built little churches there. There's one on the coast, a place called Bradwell, near the nuclear power station, little chapel built by the Saxons. There's one at Tilbury, Prittlewell, I think, near Southend, and they built one up on the high ground. It was a minster or a church on the high ground, so it was the Upper Minster.
Oh, right.
And Rainham got its name because it's our village down by the river. It was an agricultural area, and it meant the village of the wealthy people. So that's a basic sort of history there. Have a wander around, and if you want to know anything else, just give us a shout.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay?
Thanks very much. Thanks very much for that talk. I
Pleasure.
appreciate that.
Pleasure.
Thank you. It's
Have
really
a wander
interesting.
around. And if anything crops up, I'll be floating around. Just give us a
Okay.
shout.
It's okay to take photos in the
Yeah, you can do them down this. Sorry, I should explain. What we've got is we've got a lot of stuff from like the museums here. People are very touchy about copyright. I mean, are you doing this for yourself, or were you doing it because you're researching for something?
It's myself really, and to show mostly to my neighbour. She's housebound, so.
This area here has got quite a lot of interesting stuff. This is copyright free. It's all our local stuff. It's all about the brewery, because this building was Romford Brewery.
Right.
That's what the brewery looked like in the 20th century before it closed down. It's now car park, Sainsbury's, cinema, flats. This was all the brewery. This was the social club for the brewery. Above us was the admin offices, which are now flats. That clock is the corn exchange. You had the market up the road for the cattle and sheep. You had the corn exchange for your cereals. That was literally opposite us. And that clock's 1850. Tells perfect time. Because we've got an electric motor drives in. But and then, so anything around here you can photograph. Rodeo Corner is a famous bit of Romford. Everybody knows Rodeo Corner. It's sort of, you know, the buses all go round Rodeo Corner. Yes. Named after rodeos. Originally they made printers, duplicators, and then they branched out light engineering. They were very significant during the Second World War, building engineering for the forces, obviously for the troops. And we've got this is the original brewery. This is the Star Brewery, which is next to Romford Station. When you come out of Romford Station, it's now a hotel, suites, Ibis Suites.
Oh right, I'll look out for that. That way.
That's on top of this now. This is the Co-op supermarket, which is shut at the moment. Whether they're going to reopen it, we'll wait and see. But that's at the bottom. That's right next to. This is taken from Romford Station. This view. And then obviously because of the link with the brewery, there's a lot of pub stuff, pub information around and things like that.
Interesting enough for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Thanks
If you need toilets, there's toilets there.
Brilliant.
And if you need any information, I'll be sitting around here.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, here, ladies and gents, the first bit of that was silent, but you had a talk there, which was very interesting. So there's certain bits in here I can't film or record because of copyright, so I'll get what I can. This is the clock from the Corn Exchange, which is over the road, which tells perfect time. And Radio Corner, where the printing press things come from, but we'll start here with the brewery. The Golden Lion Hotel, I've taken pictures of that. It's a lovely one, that is. The White Swan. Quite a lot of material to go on the page today because, or over the next few days rather. I've done the church today, Something a little bit Christmassy, which may cheer everyone up, hopefully. And now we're here. Just going to pause you and undo my jacket because it's rather warm. That's better. Pause to read any of the descriptions. Oh look, a Bellarmine bottle. Oh, 17th century, these bottles were initially imported from the Rhineland area of Germany, but later began to be made in Britain. They usually contained beer or wine. The face on the bottles supposedly resembles Cardinal Bellarmine, I said about that, didn't I, of 1542 to 1621, who cruelly persecuted Protestants. So these bottles were known as Bellarmines, but the bearded face design was often used in pottery before this time. That's interesting, isn't it? You guys and girls will remember that some of those. The Wool Pack. Quite warm in here. Right, over to the other side. There's some interesting objects all over the place in here. are those pretty things? And then you've got a Victorian, a real piece of Victoriana there, look. And it's got the old etched glass on it that I'm always saying about. It's very nice, such pretties. Havering Atty-Bauer's last blacksmith. That's interesting. And there are the bells. Clock from Romford Corn Exchange, 1850. The first 6 or so minutes of this tour was just audio, no visual. You can't film or photograph in certain bits here, so. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Romford Embroiderers, Fantasy Insigns, a collection of embroidered images. Let me just photograph it first. A collection of embroidered images of inns, alehouses, hostelries that have existed in and around Romford. Market over the centuries, the Romford embroiderers have designed this wall art using creativity and imagination. Yes, and they have indeed. Oh, that's good. The Queen, look. some of the pubs that gentleman was talking about. Very good. One photograph of Roneo Works at Romford 1950. Romford Windmill. I don't know what's in there. I'll have a look. I don't think there's anything. It's like a conference room looking thing. Oh, they've got some nice pictures. Bit of Christmas. That's the description there, so have a read if you wish. It's very nice, such pretties. St George's in the East Church. You know me in churches, I saw a church there, I thought, oh, where's that? One for me to explore. We're coming up to our 30 minutes on this one, so I shall try something in a minute that might be a bit naughty. Well, that is an iconic location that we can all recognise. That's the Tower of London, the end of the pier. That's Southend Pier, I assume. And you've got something behind the coat hanger here, which just shows. Let's move these as quietly as I can, so you can see the picture. Right, that is this lot covered, so over we go. See you in the next part, hopefully.